fairest and credible in this current democratic dispensation. Why some say it is the worst in the history of the nation's democracy. But what are the issues that culminate this election, most especially in Lagos State, where the ruling party, APC, had to slug it out with the Labour Party and PDP? Build up to this election, ethnicity tribalism was more pronounced. A winner has been declared in the person of current Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, but are the issues gone? And how do we overcome these issues? These are some of the things that we'll be talking about on Standpoint today. And joining me to talk about this is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, first let's start, looking at holistically how the election went in Lagos State, both at the presidential and the National Assembly, which of course will move into the governorship election. From the point of the government and the things that you were able to assess before we now delve into the crux of the matter, how was it generally for?
Well, I think it wasn't. First, let me thank all Lagosians who voted in both elections, because without people coming out to vote, there will have been nothing for us to be discussing today. Coming out to vote is a very, important aspect of our democracy. And I feel that those who perform their civic duties, they deserve to be commended. And to now look at the process itself, I think it's strong for some people in some circles to have the impression that it was a very bad election. That's not true. As far as we are concerned, it's the best that we have had so far. There's a colleague of mine who says something when you put up an argument. He says, we believe in God. All others must provide data. So for you to be able to convince us that this election was not well run, then you need to provide data. But the data that we have from official sources, from international observers, from local observers, the figures show that what happened in Lagos during the two elections was indeed a true reflection of what we got as a result. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for example, the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Party, who has now, by the grace of God, won the election, he ran based on his records. Everybody saw what he could do. Everybody saw all of the things that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and All Progressive Party did in Lagos. The hospitals we built, the new schools, then the businesses that we helped to promote, then human capacity development, all of the roads that we have done, and then the other things in transportation sector, such as the rail lines, the ferry services that we had 7 when Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu was coming in, and later, by the time by last month, we had about 21 of them. And so many, many other areas of achievement like that in health sector, in transportation, as I have said, and so many other things. So he was running on his records, he was running on his capacity and his ability and capability. But unfortunately, some people thought it should be about religion, it should be about ethnicism, and they introduced all these primordial sentiments into the campaigns, and then things got a little bit muddy.
Okay, so now that you have even just delved into it, okay, so let's take it one step after the other. After the presidential and National Assembly elections, there was a lot of stories flying around on the social media, how people were, how voting, because if you are not voting for this particular political party, so as a result of that, don't even come out or don't even think of voting for any other political party. There were videos that were surfaced on social media. We can't sit down here and not say we didn't see those videos. But moving into the governorship elections, build up to that election, there was a lot of stories that began to come out, was the part of ethnicity and tribalism. Now that those things, looking at Lagos as a center, of excellence, and everybody is in Lagos. How do we move from where we are now? Because those things are still with us. The elections are over, but people are still talking about the fact that I am here, you are here.
Well, first let me debunk the opinion that there was widespread intimidation of people. If you are not voting so party, you don't come out to vote at all. There's something that they say in street parlance that Yabis is free. But facts remain facts. Of all the elections that we had in Lagos, about 13,235 polling units. We had reports from about 235 or 140 units of intimidation, of violence. So that is not enough to invalidate the credibility of that election, because that is just about 1%. It's something that's negligible, something that is in infinitesimal. No, but people can overlook it. Look at Alimosho, for example. We had just one incident in one polling unit in Alimosho. So the thing is that people who are coming out talking about intimidation and all that, there are people who are playing the old game of you are the aggressor and then you are coming out to play the victim.
If I'm sorry to let me cut you that. Sorry to cut you there. If you say because of that one incident, that one incident can also mean that some persons felt they need to come out, they didn't want to come out and vote, but because of that incident that they saw, they find it difficult to come out and vote. So I understand that it's just one incident, but my own is, how do we move away from where we are? Because those issues are still with us. We can't shy away from them. They are issues that have gone over and over again. It's almost a week after election, 2 weeks after election, rather. And people are still talking about this ethnicity and tribalism here in Lagos.
Now, I think those who are still talking about ethnicity and tribalism, first we should trace it. How did it all start? You are the candidate who was going by a particular name, and then all of a sudden on the eve of the election, he now brought up another name, saying that he was from, affiliated to one part of the country. And then people felt that because of that, that maybe he will have a bulk vote from that particular segment of the country. So that's how it all started. And then it sparked a kind of nationalism in all the other ethnic groups. And Mr. Governor came out to talk about the fact that Lagos is not about ethnicity, it's not about religion, and we are going to keep it at that. All of the things that have brought us together as Lagosians, that we are proud of, all the values, all the ideals, our resilience, our united posture when we have a problem, like when we had that pandemic, and the love that we have for one another, and the resilience that we show, that the whole world knows us about. Those are the things that we are now trying to promote, so that people who are talking about ethnicism, they will know that they cannot find a place in Lagos. People who are talking about religion and all those things that are meant, according to them, to divide us, they are not going to succeed. And Mr. Governor said so in his acceptance speech when he was declared the winner of the election, that Lagos is one Lagos. We are not going to discriminate about anybody, that he has ruled for almost 4 years without any discrimination, either in religion, in sex, in age, in gender, in anything, and that he's going to continue this and going to build on the fact that we are all Lagosians, and all of the things that we are proud of, our hard work, our love for one another, our culture, and everything that binds us together, that he is going to begin to escalate on all these things again and make them a point of unity for all of us in Lagos. So people believe that this has become the beginning of ethnicism in Lagos. They are going to be disappointed. Anybody who wants to say that he wants to set one ethnic group against another in Lagos is going to be the loser.
I think for majority of them, it's just beyond the talks, it's just beyond the rhetorics. What is the government trying to do to bring everybody back to the table? It's not just about ethnicity. Some people are even saying that, the youth in Lagos spoke loud during the presidential election, because according to them, statistics shows that, majority of the youth, voted massively in Lagos, and it went into the governorship election. What is the government doing in terms of bringing everybody to the table and let's discuss it just beyond words, just beyond rhetorics? How do we address all of these things? Because it's eating deep into the fabric of our nation almost every time. When you go on social media sometimes, of course you need to verify and unverify some stories. But there are some that when you see and you listen to them, you want to believe it's still the same Lagos that we all knew. I take you back to the NSAS. There were a lot of things that happened during the NSAS. And some Lagosians have said, come on, we can't allow what happened during the NSAS to happen again. But what is the government going to do for that not to, raise ugly heads again?
Well, I think, like I have said, all of us believe in God. Others must bring data. If you look at the number of people who voted in that election, and you say the young people, they constitute the majority, that's fine. I won't want to argue about that. But what I want people, and if you look at the kind of appointments we have made in Lagos, that the governor, Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, has made, you see that over 40% of people appointed are young people. They constitute the majority in the government. So it's all for them. And all the programs that we are doing, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, all of the people who are beneficiaries, over 90% are young people. If you look at the kind of investment that we have made in entertainment, all the people who are benefiting from entertainment, most of them, majority are young people. So if you look at all of that, you see that young people are very, they are a key part of what the administration is doing. Then talking about what we do in order for people now to feel that ethnicism is now going to reign in Lagos and all of those divisive rhetoric we have to come into play as a practical actions. They are not going to be. As I speak with you now, there was a man who went on social media to say that he was going to invite IPOB into Lagos to come and protect Igbo property in Lagos, to come and protect Igbo people. In less than 24 hours, the man has been arrested. Because that is not who we are in Lagos. We do not thrive on ethnicism. We do not thrive on religious sentiment and all those primordial issues that tend to divide people. We are all Lagosians, wherever you come from. You can come from anywhere so long as you are going to live in peace and you are going to be run your life according to law, according to the rules and regulations here, and you are not going to dabble into crime and all negative things. You are all Lagosians. Everybody is welcome. That is what makes Lagos tick. That is what makes Lagos so thrive. That is what makes Lagos the financial and commercial headquarters of Nigeria. In small process as ethnic champions, the person is strong. That is why the kind of man who was arrested this morning is not going to have his way in Lagos, going on social media and talking about things that don't happen in Lagos, trying to set one particular section of the country against another. It's not going to happen in Lagos. All of us will remain Lagosians, true Lagosians who love one another and who cherish the fact that all the things that bind us together, our resilience, our hard work, our joy in seeing each other and then embracing each other, all of those things are going to continue. We are not going to become ethnic champions or allow ethnic irredentists to divide us. It's not going to happen in Lagos.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. Before the election, there was a video on social media where one of the supporters of APC was saying that, if you are not supporting this particular party, don't come out. And after which, there was another purported video that also came out saying that this was what it meant. Don't you think that kind of video did more damage to the psychic of the people who want to vote?
You see, what I would want to say about that, if a man made a video and said something and he said it was misunderstood, and made another video again to show, I know the person you are talking about, MC Oluomo, everybody saw the video, and the man explained himself that he didn't mean that people should not come out to vote, that he was talking to Mama Chinedu. And he made another video and asked Mama Chinedu to come out and talk. And Mama Chinedu came and spoke in Igbo and said MC Oluomo has been a customer for ages, and that she was the one the man was referring to. And that's short of apologizing for that kind of behavior. But we have found people who said that they killed somebody, they have shot somebody dead in my estate. and then I slapped a policewoman. And such people are still walking the street. They are not yet arrested. We've seen leaders of LP going to the voting area with wild dogs. And they are the very first people to jump onto television to start talking about being intimidated. So it's a case of the aggressor playing the victim. And it's an old game that all of us we understand. And they are the first to be seen on social media and the ones with the loudest voice. And that is why people always believe what they say. Because, you know, you cannot beat a kid and expect the kid not to cry. That is the case of LP in this particular election. I mean, look at the gap that the APC has given to them. Because they had it in their dreams that they were going to win elections in Lagos. And then the Gaussians said, no, they will vote competence, they will vote performance, they will vote ability, and that they are not going to put their destiny in an untested hand. And that's what happened in that election. So because they had it in their conjectural imagination that they were going to win, they now started crying that they were being victimized. They were being asked not to vote. They were chased out of voting areas. I mean, all sorts of lies that they are telling. But like you have said, there are videos to show that they were the ones who went to police stations with wild dogs. They were the ones who were promoting hate speeches, promoting divisive tendencies, promoting divisive rhetoric before the elections and even after the election. The elections are gone how many days? You still find their supporters saying all manner of things, despite the fact that the governor himself goes everywhere to say that this victory is for all Lagosians there and move towards the greater Lagos that we are talking about, and that Lagos should not allow for Lagosians and all the beautiful things that he has spoken of, that he has promised Lagosians to take us to a greater Lagos, that he promised that he will continue to do them in education, in health, in entertainment, in transportation, and in infrastructural development all over Lagos. So that is why yesterday we were in Ikorodu to commission a road. Obase Kumade Road has been in the works for about 8 years. Yesterday it was commissioned and the people were very happy. And it's going to continue like that. The red line, very soon we are going to complete it and commission it. The blue line, very soon, is going to be open to passenger operation. So all of us will be moving towards that greater Lagos without anybody coming to divide us along ethnic or religious lines. That is not who we are, and we are not going to accept that. In our attitude, in our thoughts, in our species, we are not going to accept that.
So I want to, you talked about Greater Lagos. Now let's move into just a bit, let's move into governance. You know, how, one of the things that the residents of Lagos want to see is accountability from their leaders. How do you think this will play out? You know, some says the second term of every governor is always different from the first time. The first time they work like every other thing, but the last time of every governor is just like it's just a stroll in the park for them. So what is it going to be like? You know, being accountable to the people of Lagos in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of infrastructural development. Are we still going to be seeing what we're seeing, or is just going to be the same old same?
No, it's going to be quite different. In Lagos, we are going to be seeing bigger projects being completed. Already, we have them all set. Lagos has a work plan that the governor is following, and we are not going to deviate from that. That's why when we had the pandemic, the COVID-19, it didn't stop us from hitting our target and surpassing it. So we have, for the first time in decades, we are building a new hospital in Ojo, a new general hospital. We are set to complete it. We are building a mental health center in Iketu, about 500-bed mental hospital. That's an aspect of health that nobody pays attention to, or they pay little attention to. 500-bed hospital is almost ready. We are going to complete it. We are building a film city on 100 hectares of land in K22. We are going to complete it so that our young people who are interested in filmmaking, who are interested in editing, script writing, and all of that, they will have a place to practice what they want to do. We are building 8 stadia at the same time, and all those stadia, they are going to be completed in this second tenure so that our young people can have a place to express their bountiful energy so that Lagos can continue to be the leader in terms of sports in Nigeria. We are going to build a research center in Yaba so that when you have a pandemic like COVID-19, you won't have to rely on the Western world to give us a vaccine. We have the brains here. We have the human resources here who can do this. So we are going to be providing that infrastructure for them. The red line, as I have said, is going to be completed. It was started by Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu on August 21, 2021. And August 15, he's going to complete it in his own tenure, even in this first tenure. So by the time we finish that red line and then it goes into operation, everybody will see it. We are going to be expanding the waterways so that there will be less pressure on the roads. We are going to start the 4th Mainland Bridge, which is going to run from Abraham Adesanya all the way to Ikorodu, and it will be bursting out at Lagos-Badagry Expressway. And I feel all of these projects that we are going to do, they are enough for people to see that there is accountability. We are building the largest children's hospital in Africa. Mercy Street Hospital is already being built as I speak with you now. They are working there. So all of these things, we are going to do them so that people will see that in all these projects, you can even see accountability. So it's not going to be a slowdown time at all. Mr. Governor says so during his acceptance speech, that there is no time to waste. There is no time to relax. There is no time for us to continue to look back. We have to be forging ahead and be doing new projects and all the things that we have promised to make Lagos, the greater Lagos that we are all seeing rising around us, will continue to rise in education, in health, in transportation, and in entertainment and everything that we need to do so that we can catch up with the world. Because we are well aware that Lagos, Nigeria is of every 10 black people in the world, about 6 are Nigerians. And if 6 are Nigerians with the population of Lagos, it means that at least 4 are in Lagos. So we have a very big responsibility on our shoulders. Mr. Governor realizes this. Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, realizes this. So we are going to do everything to show the world that we are going to put, with our actions and all our projects, to show that the black man is able to occupy the kind of pride of place he should be occupying in the world. Lagos is going to lead that charge, and we are going to get there.
All right, thank you very much. That is, of course, the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Lagos State. I hope that the governor will be able to keep to his promise. He's in his last lap of governance in Lagos. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Imo State, where the senatorial district in Imo North is up for contention.
Join me, Precious Amayo, as I bring you news from the epicenter, where it happens and when it happens, staying on top of every breaking story, minute by minute, right at the hour where the city gets busy and just before it sleeps. We're live from every angle with objective insight and analysis. TVC News, first with breaking news.
It's not your regular show. We share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. I am Babajide Kolaji Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show, Issues with Jide.
Politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how. But in the mix, many things come to play to shape the political fortune of any country.
Honorable Minister, that's how you misinform the public.
From the political actors to the electorate, campaign to voting, from debates to policy decisions, big events happen to engage us in constant conversation.
That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
Who is on your mind?
Don't worry.
Join me every day on Politics Tonight, where we dissect issues that shape our political destiny. Politics Tonight, weekdays on TVC News.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
There is always more to a story than the scrimmage line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the rat to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TV.
Now, in Imo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission had announced that APC won the North Okigwe Zone and Imo West Oluzon seat. The Labour Party won one seat to become the main opposition party in the state, while the People's Democratic Party failed to clinch any of the seats. A former lawmaker, Patrick Nwabueze of the APC, was declared the winner of Imo North Okigwe Zone, having polled 57,388 votes to beat his closest rival, Emmanuel Okewulonu of the PDP, who polled 32,377 votes. But for the PDP candidate in Imo North Senatorial District, Emmanuel, he says the result declared by INEC can be contested. Interesting. Joining me in the studio is PDP Senatorial candidate Imo North, Emmanuel Okewulonu, to talk about these discrepancies that he said he noticed during the election. Welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, so first of all, I know that in Okigwe Zone, there are 6 local governments in that particular senatorial district.
Right.
And out of that particular senatorial district, 6 local governments were supposed, election was supposed to happen in the 6 local governments.
Right.
So tell us, did election actually, happen in the 6 local governments? And why do you say the result can be contested? Because you don't feel that that's the true state of things. Tell us.
Well, Ademola, thanks for having me here. Like you said, my name is Chief Emmanuel Okewulonu. I am the PDP candidate for the Imo North Senatorial election that took place on the 25th of February 2023. In Imo North, I come from a zone that has 6 local government areas. And personally, I come from Obo local government. We have a challenge in Imo State. We have a challenge in Imo North. In the election of 25th, I should say that the election was very, very free, fair, credible. to a large extent. Like in the local government I come from, local government elections took place, no rancor, no issues of insecurity. And going to Hitubhama, one of the local government areas, the elections were very free. To cut the long story short, out of the 6 local government areas, I won clearly in 4 local government areas. The records are there. I think INEC have the results. And I came second in the 5th local government of East Alambano local government area. Now coming to Okigwe local government, where there is insecurity, where there is heavy presence of these boys that are very restive. And they went there and conducted elections without the beavers. In Okigwe local government, we have 11 wards.
Are you saying INEC conduct elections in Okigwe local government without the beavers?
Without the beavers.
How many words? I think in Okigwe local government you have like 11 words.
Yeah, in Okigwe local government they have 11 wards in Okigwe local government.
So how come in 11 wards you're saying that INEC never conducted election with the beavers?
No, out of the 11 wards of Okigwe local government, elections held in 4 of the 11 local governments.
All right.
11 wards.
Okay.
Pockets of election in the polling booths. But in 7 wards of Okigwe local government, no election. As I speak here today, people have left their ancestral homes. People are no longer living in the 7 wards of Okigwe local government. From Akoward, Wibu, to Ogi, to Ihube. You go there now, you don't see people. People have left their homes, have run away. So for your information, Okigwe local government is the area we have greatest insecurity in Imo State. And in Okigwe zone, this is where you see human beings being beheaded. And people have left their homes. And INEC is telling us that elections held in the 7 wards of Okigwe, no elections was conducted in the 7 wards of Okigwe.
What if INEC tells you they provided there was security to give the people to cast their vote?
Ward. Nobody can say that the military cannot even go there. These boys have occupied the place. You can't access there. And today, APC went to those wards and generated the results. From nowhere, my brother, let me tell you, I come from Obo local government. You know, we have about 68,000 registered voters. But we could only get about 18,000 voters to vote on that day. In Hituboma, about 58,000 voters, they voted less than 16,000. In East Alambano, the biggest in the zone, with about 98,000 voters, they voted less than 19,000.
98,000 registered voters.
Registered voters.
Okay.
But they voted about 19,000 votes in Okigwe local government, where there is heavy presence of these boys, happy idea, doing their thing, occupying their land. And the APC, when they are generated over 40,000 votes. I want to tell you, the highest number of voters are in East Alambano, 98,000 registered voters. But how many did they vote? No insecurity in East Alambano. We got about less than 19,000 voters that voted on that very day. Then coming to Okigwe local government, with all the insecurity in the area, they got 40,000 votes for APC. My brother, this is the problem in Okigwe, and that's why we are here today. We want to contest that election. The vote didn't come from Okigwe local government. The mandate declared, Inobo got less than 2,000 votes. Iduboma got about 3,000 votes. In East Alambano, about 3,000 something votes. On the whole, he got about 12,000 votes in 5 local government areas. And I got over 30,000 votes in 5 local government areas. Then they went to Okigwe from nowhere, from an empty community. They generated 40,000 votes for Mr. Patrick of APC. It's unfortunate. My brother, these things has to stop. This is not the first time I'm running for the Senate. In 2020, After the death of our former senator, Ben Wachimoku, may so rest in peace, I ran for the Senate. The same party ran against me in PDP. I won me in the primaries. I ran to a court party and contested. In that election, APC had 2 aspirants. The president, senator, representative of Kigwe Zone, contested with me, with Chief Ararume, Ifeanyi Ararume. And APC got 36,000 votes with the 2 candidates in that election. And I secured about 2,000 votes. INEC went ahead and declared APC winner without any candidates at all. So these are problems. And that's why I'm asking government to come in Imo State. My brother, we have problem. We have a government in Imo State. All they do is declare us winner. Let them go to court. And each time they go to court, they have a way of getting victory. So this is the problem in our Kigwe Zone.
Okay, so I really want to get this thing straight, because are you saying that Mr. Patrick got over 40,000 votes in Okigwe?
In one
local government.
Yeah. Where people have deserted their homes.
So if that, because you are claiming that you won in 4 local governments.
4 local governments.
Out of the 6.
Out of the 6.
Out of the 6. Yes. You came
first.
You came first in 4 local government
areas. With wide margin. With wide margin.
So when okay, first of all, you know, elections are in different cycles. When you at the polling unit, you move straight to the local government, you know, collation center and all of those things. Did you at any point at that particular time table your concerns, you know, from the polling units? Of course, you have your agents who, of course, who are monitored. Did you lay down these issues, you know, to the INEC or the polling officers as at the time? And what was their response?
Well, I did, you know, like I said before, in Obo local government area, the elections went free, fair, no rank.
The only local government you are contesting now is Okigwe.
Is Okigwe, where there is great insecurity. As we speak, people are no longer in their central homes in these 7 wards. And that's where they went without deploying beavers. And they wrote results. So, my brother, we have a very big problem in Okigwe in that election. And it's unfortunate that we have election today where INEC could not protect the candidates. For the first time, I'm seeing an umpire. It's just like a referee, you know, in charge of Man U Chelsea. You blow penalty for Man U, you got to position the ball, and you kick the ball, and score goal. That's what we saw in Okigwe. Where INEC holistically ended the APC to right results. I'll tell you this. On the day of election, we monitored everywhere in Okigwe Zone. I monitored Obo, Itubo, Mahime, Isiala, and of course, Onimo. They were all very peaceful. Getting to Okigwe, I was getting calls that they were not allowed, our agents were not allowed to access the place. I had to drive down to Okigwe. They could not allow me to access the place. And they were there writing results. The military blocked everybody, including my agents. Nobody was able to access the collation center. So these are the issues we had in Okigwe. We have a free election in the remaining 5 for the local government areas, except Okigwe.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. You are only contesting 7 wards because you have 11 wards in Okigwe. So you are saying that out of the 11 wards, there are 4 wards is where election held. So you are contesting 7 wards. Does that suffice that the election was not credible? Can it amount to the fact that the election was not credible when you're saying you are contesting 7 wards out of the 11?
Well, Mr. Demola, I don't know how best to describe what happened in Okigwe. That not being credible is a total fraud. Even in the
because I remember when you started, you said the election was credible.
Credible in the 5 local government areas of Okigwe.
You know that if I have the other party here,
yes,
he would also come and say, in the 5 local government, it's probability in the 5 local government, the election was also not credible. I'm just saying.
I doubt anybody can say that. Okigwe.
So, you politicians can be very funny. How you place your matters.
Yes.
But can the 7 words, is it enough to say the elections were not credible?
It's enough. Let me go down a little. Even in the 4 wards they conducted the election, they manipulated the results. The total accredited voters in those 4 wards is less than 3,000. Or how APC got over 10,000 votes from the 4 wards beats my imagination. And this is a problem. Even in the 4 wards elections held, less than 3,000 persons voted. Yet they went there and generated over 10,000 votes. I don't know the magic they did. Of course, the beavers are there to say who did what, and how they got those results from those 4 wards that they conducted the elections. So this is the situation in Okigwe and in Imo State today. And I must tell you, Ademola, we have a challenge in Imo State. We have a challenge in Okigwe zone. We have a problem where even the government at the center and the INEC will tell you, go to court. When they are doing something that is apparently very wrong and bad. Can you imagine a candidate, as you know, by around 2 a.m. on Sunday, I got information that APC and INEC are collecting results at the local government area. I had to move from Owore to Okigwe local government, only to see Patrick Ndubeze.
But those are allegations that you're saying happened.
Yeah.
If you say you get information that they were collating results by 2 a.m.,
yes,
where was your agent? Your agent?
Everybody was just away. Everybody was just away. Even when I say the collation center, they immediately chased me away.
Anyways, they are just allegations.
Until it is proven. We have records, we have videos where an EO was mutilating results at Okigwe local government area. An EO. It's on tape. And I was there myself. I was asking her, why are you changing results here? But I go to Okigwe local government area. Only Patrick Ndubeze and our NEC officers and the military, we are in the hall compiling results for the Senate. And I got there, I queried them. The military said I should leave that place. I insisted that I will not leave. It's my election. He said, no, we are on the election did not hold. We are beavers, we are not deployed. We are records are there that the election did not hold. If INEC should provide beavers today, you see those records there that election did not hold there. That's the results. From where? How can they even get 40,000 votes from a local government where there is heavy insecurity? That people have run away from their central homes. Even when the INEC chairman, I previously said that there is heavy security in Okigwe zone and in Okigwe local government. They went to that local government, one local government, and generated over 40,000 votes for a candidate. What's the magic? What's the magic? I must tell you, Mr. Demola, ask questions in Okigwe zone. The largest local government with the greatest number of people is Salambano, with over 98,000 registered voters. No insecurity. Yet, they had about less than 19,000 voters that voted on the 25th of February. How come that in a local government, where people have deserted, they can generate 40,000 votes?
What if the people of Okigwe thought about it that, okay, we want to vote because we want a change, so they don't mind the insecurity. They just want to, perform their civic duty by going to the poll. What if that was the case that happened in Okigwe?
There is nothing like that, Mr. Demola. There are no persons to do the voting there. There are no persons to do any form of accreditation in those 7 wards. No persons. People are no longer living. They go to Ihube, one of the wards in Okigwe zone. People's houses are being burned. In fact, in Okigwe local government, you cannot say you are a politician. Your house will be burned down the next day. You cannot do that in Okigwe local government area.
Let me ask you the last question.
Yeah.
What do you want?
What I want?
Yes, sir.
Well, as a candidate, as a popular candidate, as one the people so loved, because I bring the vanguard of taking care of people, the widows, the less privileged, building houses for the poor, the low in the society. People came out and voted for me. I got the highest number of vote cast on the 25th. What I'm asking for, of course, I went to Abuja when we had a window of review. Even though INEC refused to attend to any of those applications. If they had reviewed the result of Okigwe, of course, INEC could have declared me winner. Because I won in 4 local government areas, clearly. So what the magic one can get to win from one local government area with all the insecurity in that local government area. So what I'm asking, even though today we are filing our papers in the courts, so let me not preempt what is going to happen, but I know that at the end of the day, I will be declared winner of the Imo North Central election.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Okewulono. I must also tell you that the views of Mr. Emmanuel Okewulono are his personal views, his personal opinion. So just to put that out there for all our viewers. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Of course, we'll still like to have you more so that we can follow up on all of the things that happen if indeed things turn out the way you want it to be. That's our show for today. Join us, of course, next week as we bring you another interesting part of the polity. That was the show by 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm Ademola Lawrence. Bye for now.
Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Kano State is not just the commercial capital of northern Nigeria. It is the seat of an ancient kingdom that has thrived for more than 1,000 years. It's home to people with a proud and glorious heritage, a dynamic and thriving state. Let's take you on a weekly ride through Kano to see how Governor Abdullahi Ganduje is making steady strides through infrastructure development, education reform, quality and affordable healthcare, urban rejuvenation, human capital development, and more. Kano Spotlight, Friday, 9:30 p.m. on TVC News.
It is time for consolidation of recovery efforts in Borno State, devastated by years of insurgency and terror. From security to education, health, agriculture, infrastructure, and housing, every sector has continued to bear the stamp of Zulum's visionary leadership. Join us on Borno Restoration as we track, showcase, and analyze developmental strides of Professor Babagana Zulum and his overwhelming care for the vulnerable. Borno Restoration on TVC News every Saturday at 8 p.m. It's time to restore.
It's been 3 decades of statehood in Yobe State, coupled with steady growth and development in all areas. A decade-long Boko Haram insurgency has also hampered the steady rise to greatness in the pride of the Sahel. But it's time for continuity, consolidation, and innovation in Yobe State. Watch as Governor Mai Malabuni builds on progress made by past administrations and breaks new grounds with fresh projects and programs on Impact Yobe. Impact Yobe on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. and Thursdays 12:30 p.m. on TVC News. Join us.
Hello there. It's a brand new quarter and your favorite TV program, CAC Weekly, is about to unveil new innovations fresh from the Nigerian Company Registry. Now, have you heard of the Extensible Business Reporting Language (XBRL) standard for filing of electronic